Hare Krishna. In the last class, we completed the 16th chapter of the first canto till 24th verse. We'll begin from the 25th verse. So, till this point, we have seen how Maharaj Parikshit went out to check the activities of Kali, and he heard the glories of Pandavas and their wonderful relationship with Krishna in various ways from various people wherever he traveled. And at one point, at one place, he saw with his mystic vision the meeting between a cow and a bull, who are the representatives of Mother Earth and Dharma, respectively. And the personification of Kali, who is like a Sudra dressed in the form of a king, is troubling these two animals, important animals. And Parikshit Maharaj was able to see this whole scene with his mystic eyes. It is not a common scene that everybody was able to see, but Parikshit Maharaj was able to see this because of the special vision that he had. So far in this chapter we have seen the conversation that happened between the cow and bull. So the cow, Mother Earth, was lamenting, and Dharma, the bull, he was asking what could be the possible reasons for your lamentation. My dear Mother Earth, why are you lamenting so much? Are you lamenting because people are not doing sacrifices, or the knowledge is being mishandled by misguided brahmanas? Like that he asks various questions. And finally he asks, are you lamenting because of the separation from Lord Krishna? Because when he descended as an incarnation, there was a lot of prosperity for Mother Earth. Now Krishna disappeared, so Mother Earth is lamenting. So Dharma detected the possible reasons for the lamentation of Mother Earth in the form of cow, and asked several questions. Now Dhara or Dharani, Mother Earth in the form of cow, is responding to the questions of Dharma. 25th verse. धरणी उवाच भवान् हि वेद तत्सर्वम् यन्मां धर्मान् पृच्छसि चतुर्भिर्वर्तसे येन पादैर्लोकसुखावहैः
must apply to the personality of various principles in the form of a bird. O Dharma, whatever you have inquired from me shall be known to me. I shall try to reply to all those questions. Once you two were maintained by your four legs, and you increased happiness all over the universe by your sake.
So, Mother Earth says that, my dear Dharma, what is not known to you? You already know everything. Still you are asking, so I will respond. And you are also once maintained by four legs. So one of the questions that Dharma asked was that, are you lamenting for my condition? Because Dharma used to stand on four legs in Satyuga. As Kali Yuga just crept in, Dharma was barely standing on one leg. Towards the end of Kali Yuga, that one leg is also gone. So Mother Earth is actually lamenting for it. So Mother Earth is saying that when Krishna was there, you were maintained with your four legs, and thus you increased happiness all over the universe by the mercy of the Lord. So happiness in the world depends proportionately on the maintenance of Dharma, individually or collectively. The best part of valor is to maintain Dharma despite all kinds of odds. This one.
Give that to more again.
So happiness is there the happiness in this world is directly proportional to the amount of Dharma being maintained. And when there are some reverses or some trying circumstances, the tendency is to compromise on Dharma. So who will follow this principle? In this circumstance, I cannot uphold this religious principle. So one may tend to compromise on it. So, in spite of all arts, if one is fixed up in his maintenance of dharma, such a person is called a very valorous person. That is the best part of valor, as Prabhupada is saying. Of course, there is some apad dharma, but apad dharma cannot become samanya dharma. Samanya dharma means that dharma which is supposed to be followed at all times. And there are some exceptions. In this condition, maybe it could be compromised to some extent because of the emergency situation. But emergency cannot be routine like that. So one should endeavor his best to follow the religious principles to the best of his capacity at all times, right? Unless there is a very unavoidable emergency. Now, in this context, Mother Earth is remembering the glorious qualities of the Lord from 26th verse. Satyam Saucham Daya Kshanti
Satyam Swacham Daya Shanti
Tyagah Santosha Arjavam
Tyaga Santosha Arjavam
Shamodamastapasamyam
Namodamastava Samyam
Titikshoparati Srutam
Vishwapati Stam
Jnanam Viraktir Aishwaryam
Jnanam Virakti Aishwaryam
Shauryam Tejo Balam Smritihi
Sauryam Tejo Balam Smriti
Swatantriyam Kaushalam Kantir
Swatantriyam Kaushalam Kantir
Dhairyam Mardavamevacha
Dhairyam Madhavamevacha
Pragalbhyam Prasayat Sheelam
Pragalyam Prasayat Shilam
Saha Ojabalam Bhagavan
Sahojabalam Bhagavan
Gambhiryam Stairyam Aistikyam
Gambhiryam Stairyam Astityam
Kirtir Mano Anahankritihi Yete Chanyeja Bhagavan Nitya Yatra Mahagunah Prathya Mahatvam Ichchadhir Naviyanti Sma Karhichit Tenaham Gunapatrena Srinivasena Sampratam Sochavirahidam Lokam Papana Kalinekshitam. So, actually, Mother Earth was feeling separation from Lord Krishna, and in his separation, she is remembering all the wonderful activities of Krishna, all the wonderful qualities of Krishna. So, these are all the qualities of Krishna. So, Satyam, Saucham, Daya, Kshanti, truthfulness, cleanliness, intolerance of towards others' unhappiness, and the power to control anger, self-satisfaction, straightforwardness, steadiness of mind, control of sense organs, responsibility, equality, tolerance, equanimity, faithfulness, knowledge, absence of sense enjoyment. Like that, there are 40 qualities of Krishna which are enumerated by Mother Earth. So all these qualities are very attractive. If you remember in the 7th chapter we have discussed Atma Ramasya Maneva Nirgrantha Guru Krame Kurvanti Ahaitukim Bhaktim Ittam Bhuta Manohari. So even great Atma Ramas, self-satisfied personalities also get attracted to the beautiful qualities of Krishna. Ittam Bhuta Manohari. Lord Hari's gunas are so attractive that even self-satisfied people also get attracted to it. So that means a person may be beautiful, may be smart, may be skillful, may have so many other attributes, but ultimately what is most attractive to other people is his good qualities. Ittam bhuta guno harihi. His qualities are very attractive. One may not be very physically attractive, but if his character is very attractive, people get attracted to him. People become very impressed with him. But in Krishna's case, he is physically also beautiful, his heart is also beautiful. Right? So all the beautiful qualities of Krishna are wonderfully enumerated here. Joyfulness, proper execution, then fidelity, fame, worship, pridelessness, eternity, all these are qualities of Krishna. So many qualities are mentioned here. So the personality of Godhead, who is the reservoir of all goodness and beauty, Lord Sri Krishna has now closed his transcendental passion from the face of earth. in his absence, the age of Kali has spread its influence everywhere. So I am sorry to see this condition of existence. So I am missing the presence of Krishna. Krishna is an ocean. Krishna is a reservoir of all those wonderful qualities. Now Krishna is not there on my surface, so I am feeling very sorry for this condition. And not only that Krishna is absent, in Krishna's absence, Kali is spreading. Right? Kali is flourishing. So these are the reasons for my lamentation at this saying. So we just said that Krishna's qualities are very attractive. Uttam bhutaguno harihi. And if someone is so attracted to the qualities of Krishna, such a person will also become attractive to everybody. If you remember that verse is there, Atmaramasya Manayo, the immediate next verse is Hare Gunakshuttamatihi. So Sukadeva Goswami heard about the beautiful qualities of Krishna and Hare Guna Akshuttamatihi. His mati, his consciousness was totally absorbed in the qualities of Krishna. And what was the result? Nityam Vishnu Janapriya. Sukadeva Goswami has become so dear to all the devotees. And all the devotees of Lord Hari have become very dear to Sukadeva Goswami. So many people might come up with so many ways of improving relationships and friendships amongst each other. They are wonderful, definitely. But Bhagavatam in this context gives another nice input. If one is attracted towards Krishna, he can become friends with other devotees also. Nityam Vishnu Janapriya. How did it begin? Hare Gunakshuttamati. Because he is so attracted towards Krishna, someone is very attracted towards the qualities of Krishna, he is developing love for Krishna. His love for Krishna will manifest in his love for his parts and parcels. Right? In everybody who is connected with Krishna. So thus he will deal with all the people in a nice way. Right? His love for Krishna is manifesting in his love for other people. And because he is loving other people, so genuinely keeping Krishna in the center, other people also will love him. Right? So Hare Gunakshuttamatihi is a wonderful key for Nityam Vishnu Janapriya. So now such a personality, Krishna with all his beautiful qualities, has disappeared from this planet. What could be the magnitude of lamentation of Mother Earth? So that's what she is lamenting. Now Prabhupada is writing in his purport that even if it were possible to count the atoms on the earth after smashing the entire earth to powder, even if you are able to count and come up with some number, one followed by so many zeros, still it is very difficult to count the qualities of Krishna. Right? Nantam guna Nantam vidam yamami manayograjaste maya balasya purushasya kuto varaye gayan guna dashasadanana adideva sesho dhunapi nabhavasyati nastyavaram. So Sesha, the original first incarnation of the Lord, so he with his innumerable heads began enumerating the qualities of Krishna, right? Since time immemorial. So till date, he could not complete the enumeration of qualities of Krishna. That is the case with Sesha, what to speak of any other personality who is trying to enumerate the qualities of Krishna. Gayan Gunan Dashasatanana Adideva. Gayan Gunan, he is glorifying the qualities with Dashasatanana, 1000 hoods. Dashashata, 10 into 100, thousands of hoods, he is calculating. Right? How many qualities of their qualities of Krishna are there? Gayan Gunan Dashasatanana Adideva Sesho Dhunapi Nabhavasyati Nasti Aparam. Nasti Aparam, they are unlimited. So it's very difficult to count the qualities. So in this short class we won't be able to discuss all these 40 qualities and we can't discuss even one quality. So Prabhupada threw some light on some of these qualities, so I leave it for self-study. So we'll go with the flow. Atmanam cha shochami bhavantam cha maruttamam ऋषीन् साधून्
देवान् पितॄन् साधून्
सर्वान् वर्णांस्तथाश्रमान्
सर्वान् वर्णांस्तथाश्रमान्.
I'm thinking about myself and also the best amongst demigods, about you, as well as about all the demigods, sages, denizens of Pitturu, devotees of the Lord, all men obedient to the system of Varna and Ashram in human society.
So I am lamenting because of the disappearance of Krishna, and in this 31st verse she is also saying that I am also lamenting for everybody, right? About you, about the demigods, about the sages, about the denizens of Pitraloka, and so many others. So Prabhupada says that this Varnashram system is made by God. It is strictly meant for developing. When God made Varnashram system, which is strictly meant for developing animal consciousness into human consciousness and human consciousness into godly consciousness, is broken. By advancement of foolishness, the whole system of peaceful and progressive life is at once disturbed. So Mother Earth is lamenting that because of the absence of Krishna, because of not following the instructions of Krishna, there will be a compromise in the following of Varnashram system in Kali Yuga. Thus, people instead of coming from animal consciousness to human consciousness and human consciousness to God consciousness will degrade. It will go. Human consciousness will come to animal consciousness. So I am lamenting for this kind of situation on my surface, she says. So, yeah, that was her lamentation. Next verse. Brahmadayo bahuvitham yadapanga moksha
ब्रह्मादयो बहुविधं विदधामि मोक्षम्.
कामास्तपः समचरन् भगवत् प्रपन्नाः
कामास्तवत्सरं भगवत्प्रपन्नाः.
सा श्री स्ववासमरविन्दवनं विहाय
साक्षी सुवासवदनं विहाय.
यत्पादसौभगमलं भजते नुरक्ताम्
यत्पादसौभगमलं भजते अनुरक्ताम्.
तस्याहमब्जकुलिकां कुशकेतुकेतैः श्रीमत्पदे भगवतः समलङ्कृताङ्घ्रीं त्रीनत्यरोच उपलभ्य ततो विभूतिम् लोकान् समां सृजयत् कुस्मयीं तदन्ते.
Goddess of fortune, whose glance of grace was sought by demigods like Brahma, and for whom they surrendered many a day under the personality of Godhead, here abode in the forest of lotus flowers, and engaged myself in serving the lotus feet of God. I was endowed with special powers to supersede the function of all the three manifestations by being decorated with impressions of flat, thunderbolt, handsome, bright Lord, and lotus flowers, which are signs of the lotus feet of God. But at the end, when I felt I was so fortunate, Lord left me.
Now she's saying Brahmadayo bahuvitham yadapanga moksha Kamastapah samacharan bhagavat prapannaha. There are so many people who are surrendered to the Lord. Though they are surrendered to the Lord, sometimes they want some special benedictions or some external benedictions and they start worshipping Lakshmi. Right? Brahmadayo. Who are they? Brahma and other people. Brahmadayo bahutitham yadapanga moksha. Bahutitham. For a prolonged time they have been worshipping the Lord. But kamaha, because of having some desires, tapaha samacharan bhagavat prapannaha. They perform austerities to please Mother Lakshmi. Sa shri svavasam aravindavanam vihaya yatpada saubhagamalam bhajate varakta. So all those such great demigods are worshipping Mother Lakshmi to fulfill their own desires. Mother Lakshmi is not showing interest in them. She left her fan following and then she came and started massaging the lotus feet of Lord Vishnu. Right? So Mother Lakshmi will give up her devotees, right, who desire material benedictions from her and start massaging the lotus feet of Krishna. Jamadvayam jalajalocanaya jananya Lakshmyakilasya Suravandidaya Vidhatu. So Mother Lakshmi, her main activity is just to massage the Janudvayam, 2 feet of Lord Vishnu. And even Vishnu also says in the 3rd canto, 16th chapter, he says, Yat sevaya charana padma pavitra renam sadya kshatakilamalam pratilabdha shividam na shrir viraktim abhimam vijahati yasya preksha lavartha itare niyaman vahanti. So he says, na shrir viraktim abhimam. Shri Lakshmi does not show any virakti towards me. She doesn't get detached at all towards me. Na shrir viraktim abhimam. Although I am not interested in her, she has a lot of interest in me. Although I don't look at her, she is always following me only. Na shrir viraktim abhimam vijahati yasya. Then preksha lavartha itare niyaman vahanti. To get a slight trace of the favor of Mother Lakshmi, so many exalted demigods will perform so many austerities. So there is unlimited fan following behind Lakshmi, and Vishnu is not interested in Lakshmi. Still, Lakshmi is following Vishnu and then giving up her fan following. So that is the attractive potency which is there in Krishna, right? So here also that verse is saying Kama Tapaha Samacharan Bhagavat Prapanna. Kama Tapaha. Many people are performing austerities to worship Mother Lakshmi, to get benedictions of Mother Lakshmi. But what she is doing? Bhajate Anurakta. Yat Pada Saubhagamalam Bhajate Anurakta. Just trying to serve the lotus feet of Vishnu. Then Tasyaham object Vishan Vicha Ketu Ketai. And Lord's lotus feet is glorified. So that beautiful lotus feet of the Lord are marked with very auspicious marks. Srimad Padai Bhagavata Samalankritangi Tan Atyarocha Upalabhyatato Vibhuti. So there are so many auspicious marks like Abja, lotus flower, Kulisha means thunderbolt, Ankusha means elephant driving goat, Ketu, flag, Ketai, impressions. So all these impressions are there in the lotus feet of the Lord. So Mother Lakshmi is happy serving those feet. So the beauty and opulences of the world can be enhanced by the grace of the Lord and not by any man-made planning, he says. So such a personality of Godhead with such beautiful lotus feet which are actually massaged by Mother Lakshmi, he descended on my surface. And those same lotus feet, 2 lotus feet, which are served by the tender hands of Mother Lakshmi, they started traversing on my surface barefoot. When Krishna descends on this planet, especially in Vrindavan, he doesn't even wear slippers also. Vrindavanam Sakibhavo Vitanoti Kirtim Yad Devaki Sutta Padambhuja Labdha Lakshmi Govinda Venu Manamoda Mayura Nrityam Yelvani Pita Manurakta Kataksha Moksham. So the glory of Vrindavan land is that Vitanoti Kirtim. Vrindavan land is spreading the glories of this earthly planet. And what is her glory? What is Vrindavan's glory? Yad Devaki Sutta Padambhuja Labdha Lakshmi. The Vrindavan land attained the auspicious footprints, the wealth of Krishna's footprints on her surface, on its surface, right? Yet Devaki Sutta Padambhuja Labdha Lakshmi. The wealth of Vrindavan is the footprints of Krishna. So now those footprints, those feet are served by Mother Lakshmi in the upper planets, in the Vaikuntha planets, right? So Mother Earth is missing those feet now. I am missing those lotus feet, which are marked with these beautiful marks. In the previous verse, she said, I am missing those qualities. She enumerated 40 qualities, and that personality, who is a reservoir of all these qualities, is not there on my surface. And that personality, whose lotus feet are served by Mother Lakshmi, is no more traversing on my planet, on my surface. So what else do you expect? I have to learn. That's what she says. So that is, in this purport, Prabhupada also glorifies the holy name of the Lord. Next 34th verse. Yo vai mamati bharama sura vamsharajnam.
Yo vai mamati bharama sura
क्षौहिणी शतमपानुदरात्मतन्त्रः त्वां दुःस्थं ऊनपदमात्मनि पौरुषेण सम्पादयन् यदुषुरं यमविभ्रदङ्गम्
O personality of religion, I was greatly overburdened by the military friends arranged by Baptist kings, and I was relieved by the grace of the personality of God. Similarly, you were also in a distressed condition, weakened in your standing strength, and thus he also incarnated by his internal energy in the family of living.
So 34th verse, Mother Earth is speaking about the reason for Krishna's descent. Why he descends? To re-establish dharma, to protect Mother Earth from all these burden. So there was a big burden on Mother Earth. What is the burden? Military flanks arranged by atheistic kings. So Mother Earth was troubled, burdened by all these people. So Krishna came to relieve Earth from that burden. So in the Prachetas prayers, they say, Rupam Bhagavatat Petat Asesha Klesa Sankshanam Avishkritam na Klishtanam Kimanyad Anukampitam. So Rupam Bhagavatah Etat. So Krishna manifests so many forms on this planet for what? Asesha Klesa Sanshayam. To mitigate, to vanquish the miseries of all living entities on this planet, especially Mother Earth. The personified Earth, Bhumi Devi, is troubled by lot of atheism on her surface. So Krishna comes to relieve that klesha. Right? Avishkritam na Klishtanam. Avishkritam means Krishna launches. Krishna launches his form. Krishna inaugurates various forms on this planet to protect those devotees who are in trouble. Right? And also to protect dharma. Dharma is also troubled. People are not following dharma. So dharma is standing with whatever 2 legs, 3 legs, less than 4 legs. So whenever that happens, Krishna has to come and balance dharma on 4 legs again. Okay. So Mother Earth, Krishna descends to relieve Mother Earth of her sufferings. Krishna descends to relieve dharma of his sufferings. And Krishna descends to protect so many devotees. Dharma samsthapanarthaya, sambhavami yuge yuge. And paritranaya sadhunam, vinashaya cha dushkritam, dharma samsthapanarthaya sambhavami yuge. So this is the reason. So when Krishna descended, dharma is prosperous. Mother Earth is flourishing. So now that condition is no more there. Krishna departed. That is the cause of her lamentation. By increase of asuric population, those who follow the principles of religion become unhappy, especially the devotees. In such a situation, Lord incarnates and vanquishes the unwanted asuras and reestablishes the true principles of religion. Avishkritam na Klishtanam. Avishkritam, Krishna inaugurates. Now is Krishna merciless? So he Avishkritam, he inaugurated or he launched or he descended or he manifested his forms in various yugas to mitigate the sufferings. But what about the yuga suffering? So he did Avishkritam. So Bhagavatam, Lord Chaitanya, who came and again recommended Bhagavatam. Right? Srimad Bhagavatam Puranam Avalam Yadvaishnavanam Priyam Yasmin Paramahamsyamekam Avalam Jnanam Param Giyate Tatra Jnana Viraga Bhakti Sahitam Naishkaryam Avishkritam Tat Shrinvan Sukotham Vicharana Paro Bhaktya Vimuchyendana. So in the absence of Krishna, Krishne Svadhamopagate Dharmagnanadivisaha Kalau Nashtadashamesha Puranatmo Bhunoditaha. After the disappearance of Krishna, the appearance of Bhagavatam happened. And what is the glory of Bhagavatam? Srimad Bhagavatam Puranam Amalam, which is spotless Purana. Yet Vaishnavanam Priyam, very dear to all the Vaishnavas. Yasmin Paramahamsyam Ekam Amalam. It is understandable by Paramahamsas, great devotees. Amalam Jnanam Param Giyate. it propounds the topmost spotless knowledge. Tatra jnana viraga bhakti sahitam naishkarmyam avishkritam. So Krishna avishkritam na Krishna rupam bhagavata tyeta. So Krishna manifested so many forms. Now Krishna is manifesting. In his absence, Krishna is manifesting bhakti, accompanied by jnana and viraga. And with that bhakti you perform naishkarmya. Not simple naishkarmya, not that activity which is devoid of fruitive mentality. That is not sufficient. Activity devoid of fruitive mentality with a mood of devotional service accompanied by knowledge and detachment. Tatra jnana viraga bhakti sahitam naishkarmya manushtrutam. That's what Bhagavatam is doing. So Krishna is merciful enough on Kali Yuga people also. In his personal absence, he had sent Bhagavatam. Right? So here Mother Earth is saying that Krishna now left. Now this Kali Yuga is in darkness. So foreseeing the suffering of Mother Earth, Krishna very soon, just after 2 chapters, he manifests Bhagavatam. He manifests himself as Bhagavatam through the lotus lips of Sukadeva Goswami, through this Parikshit Maharaj. Right? So that's where we are getting into. Our next episode is that, the appearance of Bhagavatam in the next 2 classes. Now the next verse. Kavasaheda viraham purushottamasya premavaloka ruchirasmita valgujalpaihi स्थैर्यं समानमहरन् मधुमानिनीना रोत्सवो मम यदङ्घ्रिविटङ्किताय Kavasaheta purushottamasya. Who can tolerate the pangs of separation from Lord Krishna, who is Purushottama? Kavasaheta viraham purushottamasya. And what are his activities? Premavaloka, with his loving glances. Ruchirasmita, his pleasing smiles. Valgu jalpaihi, with his hearty appeals. Stairyam samana maharan madhumaninam. He would subdue the passionate wrath of sweethearts like Satyabhama. He performed such sweet pastimes with his queens in Dwarka, in his manifest pastimes. So Romotsavo, when Krishna was on my surface and doing all these wonderful pastimes, Romotsavo, all my hairs were standing on end. Mother Earth is saying that my hairs were standing on end. What was standing on end? All these grasses, soft grasses are considered the hairs of Mother Earth. They were standing on end. Romotsava. Utsava means celebration. She was constantly celebrating the pastimes of Krishna, and constantly her hairs were standing on end. Romotsavo mama yadangri vidankitaya. Angri, when the lotus feet of the Lord are traversing upon the surface of Earth planet, she was celebrating. Right? So now those lotus feet are no more traversing. Right? I am missing those lotus feet. That's what Mother Earth is lamenting now. So Krishna is merciful to so many people when he descended. Especially in Vrindavan, he is more merciful. Now Aghasur, in the episode of Aghasur, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur writes that 10th Canto, 12th chapter, Aghasur not only attacked Krishna, so many demons came, they all attacked Krishna, their target is Krishna, they wanted to kill Krishna. But Aghasur, he wanted to kill all the cowherd boyfriends of Krishna, all Govas. And he wanted to kill all the calves that they were herding. By doing so, if he kills all these boys, their parents will die. Right? If he kills all these calves, cows also will die. So entire Vrindavan community can die. So Aghasur's attack on Vrindavan is not targeted on Krishna, it is targeted on entire Vrindavan community. But Krishna gave him liberation. So how is it possible? How can Krishna be so merciful? Someone who is coming to just inherit the entire community of Vrindavan, the dearmost dham, abode of Krishna, so how can he be given liberation? Krishna Chakravarti Thakur writes the end of his commentary, that when Krishna descends as an incarnation, especially when he is in Vrindavan, he is more merciful. He can be merciful to even these people also, such great demons also. Krishna entered the body of Aghasura, right? So Krishna is so merciful. And Putana she came to kill a 6 days old baby. Her job profile, she is conditioned to kill small infant babies who can never contemplate on any harm to anyone on the planet. But Putana's main activity is to kill babies, right? Baby catcher. But Krishna gave her motherly position in the spiritual world. The verse comes. Padbhyam bhakta hridistabhyam vandhyabhyam loka vanditaihi angam yasya samatramya bhagavanapi tatstanam yadudhanya visasvargamavapajana gatim krishna bhuktasthana kshirah kivugavonu mataraha. Padbhyam bhakta hridistabhyam, Krishna's lotus feet are there in the hearts of all great devotees. Vandhyabhyam lokavanditaihi, all the rulers of great planets who accept obeisances and respects from so many people, they will come and offer obeisances to those lotus of Krishna. Vandhyabhyam lokavanditaihi angam yasyaha samakramya bhagavanapi tatstanam. And with those lotus feet, if Krishna's lotus feet are so glorious and such a personality, he is catching Putana's body so tightly, and although Putana is saying, leave me child, I don't want you, still Krishna is so determined to catch her very tightly. He was embracing Putana, right, very tightly. He was not leaving all those. Putana says, leave me. So such is the great mercy that Putana received, right? Just sucked her entire life along with her milk. Vandhyabhyam lokavanditaihi angam yasyaha samakramya bhagavanapi tatstanam yatudhanyapi sa swargam. Although she is a yatudhani, she is a witch. Sa swargam, she attains swargam. Here swargam is not the material heavenly planet, it is a spiritual world. Yatudhanyapi sa swargam avapa janani gati. And she received a destination where she can act with motherly affection towards Krishna. Right? So if that is the case with Putana, what to speak of other cows and the elderly gopis of Vrindavan who fed their milk to Krishna with so much love and affection. Yatudhanya visasargam avapa janani gatim Krishna bhukta stana kshiraha kivugavonu matara. So why I am mentioning this verse is that Krishna is so merciful towards demons also, of course to devotees also, towards his enemies also, towards people who have such deep malicious intentions, right, to inherit the entire Vrindavan community. He is so forgiving to them, and then he gave liberation also. However, there is one devotee who received the maximum mercy of Krishna. So Krishna has been merciful to all these devotees, but towards one devotee he has been constantly merciful. Krishna was merciful on Putana when he was 6 days old. Krishna was merciful on Sakatasuruva when he was 3 months old. Krishna exhibited his mercy upon Trinavarta when he was 1 year old. Or Krishna exhibited his mercy upon Kalya when he was around 6 years old. Krishna exhibited mercy upon Indra when he was 7 years old. So like that you can see. So Krishna's mercy towards various devotees is coming in various contexts. But Krishna, throughout his 125 years of manifest pastimes, he is merciful to one devotee. That is Mother Earth. So Mother Earth gets the constant association of Krishna. Right? Romotsavo mama yadangri vitankitaya. Krishna descended on the planet Earth and started walking on the planet Earth. So whether he is in Vrindavan, or Mathura, or Hastinapur, or Dwaraka, or Kashi, or wherever he goes, he is always constantly in touch with Mother Earth. So Mother Earth derived a lot of mercy from Krishna. And now Krishna there. So Mother Earth is thoroughly in lamentation. Very deep separation, deep feelings of separation she is exhibiting. So it's very difficult to understand the extent of separation Mother Earth is experiencing now. तयोरेवं कथयतोः पृथिवी धर्मयोस्तदा परीक्षिन्नाम राजर्षिः प्राप्तः प्राचीं सरस्वतीं
While the earth and personality of Buddhism thus engage in conversation, the same king Parikshit reached the shore of the Saraswati river, which flowed towards the east.
So while Mother Earth and Bull, Dharma, they both are discussing like that. Parikshit Maharaj arrived there. What happened then? We will discuss in the 17th chapter. Suta Uvacha Tatra Govidunam Rajam Anyamanam Anathavat Dandahastam Cha Vrishalam Dadrishe Rapalanchalam.
Suta Goswami said, after reaching that place, Maharaj Parikshit observed that a lower caste Shudra, dressed like a king, was beating a cow and a bull with a club, as if they had no honor.
So Parikshit Maharaj observed that Kali, who is a low class Shudra dressed in the form of a king, is troubling this bull and cow, as if they had no honor. So Prabhupada says that in the purport that one of the prominent symptoms in Kali Yuga is that the roles of Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra are interchanged. Right? So people who are supposed to perform certain occupational duties, they don't perform those duties, they will perform something else. A Shudra is dressed as a king. Shudra becomes Kshatriya. A Shudra, low class person, will act like an administrator. Right? That is the Kali Yuga situation. Right? And innocent animals, especially cow and bull, who are supposed to be protected, are tormented by these people. So this is the symptom of Kali Yuga. Next. Vrisham Vranala Dhavalam Mehantam Iva Vibhyatam Vepamanam Padekena Siddhantam Sudrataditam.
The bull was as white as a white lotus flower. He was terrified of the Shudra who was beating him, and he was so afraid that he was standing on one leg, trembling and bleeding.
So Vepamanam, the bull was trembling. Siddhantam Sudrataditam. So Siddhantam means the bull is completely terrified. So this Vepamanam, Siddhantam, trembling and getting terrified, they indicate that Dharma bull is not opposing the activities of Kali. So Kali is in the form of Sudra Taditam. Kali is beating this bull, Dharma, but Dharma is not protesting. Right? So more of it will be revealed later in Dharma's words only. But in this point, so the Dharma bull is being tortured by Kali without any opposition. So one of the prominent symptoms of Kali Yuga is that although Sudra-like population will defy the principles of religion, nobody will attend to it. Right? Although Dharma is being mishandled, people become so indifferent to that fact and they don't take care of re-establishing Dharma there. Total indifference to the principles of religion is a symptom of Kali Yuga. The citizens will be free to act as they like without respect for Sadhu, Shastra and Guru. Also a Sadhu being insulted by someone, others will not come and take any action. Although women are being mishandled, right? Other people will become so insensitive and indifferent to that thing, and then nobody will take an action. Although cows, innocent animals are being slaughtered, people will behave as if nothing has happened there. Right? Nothing is happening. So cow slaughter is happening there, somebody is tormenting cow, and then he will just pass like this as if he has not seen anything there. So, but in the previous days, Parikshit Maharaj, as soon as he saw someone even beating a cow or calf, he would immediately go and take an action. But now all the thousands of cows are being slaughtered, nobody will take any action. So that is the difference between the administrators of the previous ages in comparison to the administrators of Kali. Right? Total indifference to the principles of religion.
Nowadays, even when the people are dying in road accidents, people are very poor.
Total indifference to dharma, insensitivity. Gam cha dharma lugham dhinam vrisham sutra padahatam vivatsam ashruvadanam shamam yavasamichhatim.
Although the cow is beneficial because one can draw religious principle from her, she was now rendered poor and helpless. Her legs were being beaten by Shudra. There were tears in her eyes and she was distressed and weak. She was hankering after some grass in the field.
Gam cha dharma lugham dhinam. So this gam, bull's condition is explained on the previous verse. Now cow's condition is explained. So this cow is dharma dugam dina. So dharma dugam means it gives religious principles. Means what? It gives ghee to conduct sacrifices. Right? So sacrifice is a very important element of following religious principles. So it gives ghee for sacrifice. And vivatsam ashru vadanam. Vivatsam, vivatsa means devoid of vatsa, calf. So this cow is not having any calf. So when cow is along with the calf, she appears very beautiful and blissful. But now this Mother Earth is without calf. That means Mother Earth is the mother of so many grains, which are the source of sustenance of people. So in Kali Yuga, there will be lack of grains for people to eat. When you say Vivatsam here, that is indicating that there will be a scarcity of grain in Kali Yuga. Mother Earth will not give sufficient produce. Right? A lot of exploitation will happen. So for a Sanatanist, it is the duty of every householder to have cows and bulls as household paraphernalia, and not for drinking milk but also for deriving religious principles. So Prabhupada explains a lot about cow protection, the importance of protecting cows and bulls in all this purpose. Kartaswara parichadam Megagambhiraya vacha Samaropita karmukaha.
Maharaj Parikshit, when equipped with arrows and a bow, he seated on a gold embossed chariot, stroked the hill with a deep voice sounding like thunder.
So Maharaj Parikshit arrived there. How can he tolerate this, seeing this scene? So he immediately came there. So Prabhupada writes, the elected Shobhated executive head as a representative of a degraded public cannot be equal with a strong king like Maharaj Parikshit. Immediately he took an action. Right? Kastvam macharane loke baladham shabalan bali naradevosi veshena naravatkarmana dvijaha.
Oh, who are you? You appear to be strong, yet you dare kill. Within my possession, those who are selfish. By your dress, you pose yourself to be a godly man, king. But by your deeds, you are opposing the principles of Christ on
So Dvija. So you are dressed like a king. Parikshit says, I am a king and I behave like a king. And you are dressed like a king, so you don't behave like a king. So that is the symptom of Kali Yuga. People who are not capable of administration, they are dressed like administrators. And someone who has no substance, if he is placed in certain role, how will he manage that role? There will be compromise. That's what Kali Yuga represents. So Parikshit Maharaj is a king and he behaves like a king, And Kali is not a king, he is a low class Sudra, but he is behaving like a king. What will happen? He will only trouble cows and bulls. You are not supposed to be troubled like that. You are supposed to be worshipped and protected. Right? So he is opposing the principles of twice born Kshatriyas, Dvija. So Prabhupada, in the first half of the purport, is writing about Dvija, second birth. First birth is seminal birth, birth from parents. Second birth is Dvija, sacred birth, initiation by a guru. Even a Kshatriya also gets initiated, right? Dvija. So Prabhupada is writing, no one can expect justice or equality of treatment from once born. Once born means only first birth is there, parents' birth is there. So there is no spiritually inculcated culture there. So only a Dvija who is initiated by a spiritual master, bona fide spiritual master, he can be called Dvija and then he has some spiritual culture. Someone who does not have that second birth status, with one birth he cannot manage the show. Right? Kaliga symptom is the Kshatriyas, the administrators are not Dvija, they are only single born people, once born people, they are not twice born people. Right? So the modern human society is not twice born by spiritual culture. So first is just getting birth. Second is getting birth into spiritual culture. So that is missing in Kali Yuga. Now Kali may say, Kali may respond to Parikshit Maharaj's challenge. He says, just like you are the king of this country, I am the king of this time. Right? You have no power over me. So Kali might say like this. Now Parikshit Maharaj responds. Yastam Krishne gate duram.
Yastam Krishne gate duram.
Sahamandi vadhanvana. Sotyosya sotyan rahasi. Praharan vadhamarhasi.
You rogue, you do not. You do bear dead an innocent cow because Lord Krishna and Arjuna, the carrier of the Gandiva bow, are out of. Since you are beating the innocent in a secluded place, you are considered a culprit and therefore deserve to be killed.
So you deserve to be killed because you are mishandling innocent people in seclusion. For example, a small child, helpless child, if it is beaten up, any other person can come and do that. Why are you mishandling the child? Why are you abusing the child? And especially if he does it in seclusion when nobody is around, then if he is like mishandling or abusing the child, then he is subjected to punishment. Right? If a person who mishandles a child is punishable, a person who mishandles a cow is also equally punishable. Both are equally innocent. So cows, calves, this women, children, old men, brahmanas, they are all supposed to be protected. Whoever abuses them, especially in seclusion, is meant to be punished. And Kali is doing that, and Parikshit Maharaj says, I can punish you. You dare to do this because Krishna and Arjuna are not there? I am there, who is the grandson of Arjuna. I am there, who is a follower of Krishna. Right? So in my presence you can't do it. So I will punish you, he says. Tvam vavrana ladhavalaham Padayanyonah padacharan Vrishadupena kim kaschit Devonah parikhedayan
Then he, Maharaj Parikshit, asked the bull, oh, who are you? Are you a bull as white as a white lotus? Or are you a demigod? You have lost 3 of your legs and are moving only one. Are you some demigod causing the spirit in the form of a bull?
Now initially he spoke to Kali. Now he started speaking to bull, Dharma. First he asked about the identity of this bull. Who are you? You are like lotus. Tamba Vrinala Thavala, as white as lotus. So at least up to the time of Maharaj Parikshit, no one could imagine the wretched conditions of cow and bull. No one can even imagine that a cow could be beaten up like this. A bull could be beaten up like this. It's totally unprecedented. It's unimaginable till that point. Now if someone posts this incident, people may become so insensitive that what a big deal. Fine, he's beating a cow, what a big deal. But at that point, it was unimaginable. Right? Even the sages asked this question. The whole episode began by the question of the Naimisharanya sages. What was the question? They asked, why did Parikshit Maharaj punish Kali? Why Parikshit Maharaj did not kill Kali? Because all the Naimisharanya sages also could not imagine. Can a person who troubles cow and bull be spared? Can he live? How can he live? So that was the surprise. So the whole episode is being discussed because of the surprise expressed by all the sages of Naimisharanya. So they cannot even imagine that a cow could be tortured like this. How can his life be spared? How could Parikshit Maharaj save his life? So now that suspense is being unfolded. 8th verse. Najatu Kauravendranam Vodanda Parirambhite Bhutalenu Patantyasmin Vinade Praninam Shuchaha.
Now, for the first time in the kingdom, well protected by the arms of the king of the Hindu dynasty, I see you living with the tears in your eyes. Up till now, no one on earth has ever shed tears for the royal news.
So this scene is totally unimaginable in a kingdom which is led by Parikshit Maharaj or Yudhishthira Maharaj, which are in that kingdom where the principles taught by Bhishma and Krishna are being followed. This kind of scene cannot happen. So till date, so up to now, because of royal negligence, no bull had shed some tears. I am seeing this for the first time. So Parikshit Maharaj is expressing his surprise. So please tell who is the person who is troubling you. It is simply horrible for a pure-hearted soul to see organized animal killing by the state in this days of Kali. So men and animals were equally protected as far as life was concerned. This is the way in God's kingdom. So devotee maintains God's kingdom. So how can a devotee tolerate such a piteous condition of cow and bull in his own kingdom? So Parikshit Maharaj is expressing his surprise. Masaurabheyatra shucho Yedute vrisharadhayam Marodir ambabhadram te Halanam mahishastari.
O son of Kunti, you need lament no longer now. There is no need to fear this low caste class Chitra. And no other cow, as long as I am living as the ruler and superior of all Indian men, there is no cause for me to cry. Everything will be good for you.
Now he turned towards the cow and he started speaking to her. No, not cow. He's still speaking to the bull only. O son of Surabhi, you need lament no longer now. So there is no fear of this low class Sudra. So Parikshit Maharaj is able to see that this Kali, this person, the Sudra person who is dressed as a king, is the only cause of suffering of Dharma and Dhara. But still, he wanted a confirmation. He wanted a statement of acquisition, right, from bull, so that he can take proper action. That's why he is asking so many questions. Otherwise, it's quite visible that he is only troubling them. So, Prabhupada is writing here that Parikshit addresses the cow as mother, and he is a cultured, twice-born Kshatriya king. Surabhi is the name of cows which exist in the spiritual planets and are especially led by Lord Krishna himself. In the material world, the human society gives all protection to the human being, but there is no law to protect the descendants of Surabhi, no law to protect cows. Right? So, what is the he is questioning? For protecting cows and Brahmanical culture, the Lord, who is very kind to the cows and Brahmanas, will be pleased with us and will bestow upon us real peace. If we want peace, everybody wants peace. But how to attain that peace, people are confused. So Krishna will bestow that peace. And when will Krishna bestow that peace? When cow protection and Brahmanical culture are being maintained. That will please Krishna, then he will give peace. So Prabhupada is encouraging people. Now, cow and bull might respond to Parikshit Maharaj. They would say, if we tell that this Shudra person who is dressed as a king is the cause of our suffering, you will kill him. And because you will kill him, because of our complaint upon him, we might get implicated. So, we will not tell. Right? So, we will not tell his name. So that they might say like that, the government. So, Parikshit Maharaj says, I will not kill him because you have complained. I will kill him for my own benefit. How is that? He will say in the 10th verse. Yasya rashtre prajaha sarvaha trasyante sadha sadhubihi tasya mattasya nashyanti kirtir ayur bhago gatihi yashagnam paro dharmo yartanam arti nigraha atayenam badhishyami bhutadruham asattamam.
O Cheshman, the theme's good name, duration of life and good vigor vanish when all kinds of living beings are terrified by miscreants in his kingdom. It is certainly the prime duty of the king to subdue first the sufferings of those who suffer. Therefore, I must kill the most wretched man because he is violent against other living beings.
So don't worry that you will be implicated if you complain on him. If you complain, oh, he is the cause of my suffering and I will go and punish him, then you will be implicated, that is your fear. But I will have to punish a culprit for my own good fame and name. Right? So it's the responsibility of the king to punish such wrongdoers. Right? I will punish him for my own benefit, not because you complain. So there is a lot of acceptance of responsibility on the part of both bull and cow and Parikshit Maharaj or any sane person for that matter. They don't unnecessarily shift the blame upon others. As soon as some mishap happens, the tendency is because of him this dukkha has happened. Otherwise, I am innocent, I am planned, I am organized, I am not at mistake. So generally mind says like this. But here, I will not point out the wrongdoing of anyone. I take responsibility for it. So that is the nature of a person, responsible person. That is exemplified by all these personalities. When there is some disturbance caused by wild animals in a village or town, so the police and others take action to kill them. When wild animals are troubling the general people in villages or towns, so people will come and take action. But when people are troubling innocent animals, why people are not taking action? Why police is not taking action? That's what is Prabhupada's argument here. When animals trouble people, animals are punished. When people trouble animals, people should be punished. Is it not? That is Prabhupada's argument. Why cows are being slaughtered? Then Prabhupada says that it is God's law that one living entity has to sustain another living entity. Right? Ahastani sahastana apadani chatushpadam kalpuni tatra mahatam jivo jivasya jivanam. This we know. One jiva is a source of sustenance for other jiva. However, which jiva is the source of sustenance for which jiva is also mentioned. Human beings can sustain on vegetables. They need not kill animals and eat. They need not kill cows and eat. One jiva is sustenance of another jiva. So human beings are sustaining on cows, milk, not blood, not flesh. So Prabhupada emphasizes this. So thus the vegetarians are also living by eating other living beings. Therefore, the law is that one should live only by eating specific living beings as ordained by the law of God. Right? A man can subsist on varieties of grains, fruit or milk ordained by God, and there is no need of animal food. Save it except in some particular cases, very emergency circumstances, one may be obliged to do so, but in general, maintaining organized slaughterhouses to kill innocent animals is never a recommendation in any Shastra. Right? So Prabhupada, not only in this purport, several other purports he emphasizes this. So he contrasts between the modern administration and the administration of Parikshit Maharaj. Maharaj Parikshit was pious according to the scriptural codes, whereas the modern politician goes by his personal belief and sentiments. It may so happen like that. Ko vrishchat tava padam striyim saurabheya chatushpadam Mahubam swadrisha rashtre Rajnam Krishnanuvattinanam.
He, Maharaj Parikshit, repeatedly addressed and questioned the bull thus: O son of Surabhi, who has cut off your three legs? In the state of the king, in the state of the kings who are obedient to the laws of the Supreme Personality of God and Krishna, there is no one as unhappy as you.
Now he is repeatedly asking the bull, so who has cut your three legs? Right? We are Rajna Krishnanuvattina. We are kings who are the followers of Krishna. So in our kingdom this should not happen. Please tell us who has done this mistreatment towards you. So Prabhupada towards the end of the purport is saying that in his absence such quotes are presented in the pages of Srimad Bhagavatam for the guidance of blind persons who happen to be at the help of all affairs. So in the personal absence of Krishna, Krishna descends as Srimad Bhagavatam. That's how in the beginning of our class we said, so Avishkritam na Krishnana etat Rupam Bhagavato. So Krishna manifests so many forms, so many incarnations, so that he can protect people who are suffering. Right? He Avishkritam, he manifests his forms. So in his absence, in his personal absence as an incarnation, means as a human form or whatever, he presents himself. He manifests himself in the form of a book, that is Srimad Bhagavatam. So that's what Prabhupada is also saying here. So when Krishna was personally present, the codes of Krishna were being followed without question. But in his absence, such codes are presented in the pages of Srimad Bhagavatam for the guidance of people. So Krishna is not different from Bhagavatam. Tamadi devam karunanidhanam tamala varnam purusha tamala varnam suhitavataram apara samsara samudra setum bhajamahe bhagavata swarupam. Krishna is Bhagavata Swarupam. Krishna and Bhagavatam are not different. So when the personal absence of Krishna, Bhagavatam is the substitute for Krishna, and Bhagavatam is as good as Krishna and not different from Krishna. So the form of Bhagavatam from Canto 1 to Canto 12 is the various limbs of Krishna, right, as explained several times in Bhagavatam. So Prabhupada says one should follow the principles enunciated in Srimad Bhagavatam in the personal absence of Krishna. Nakhyahi vrishabhadrambaham sadhunam akritavasam atmavairupyakartaram parthanam kirtidushanam.
O Bull, you are offenseless and thoroughly honest. Therefore, I wish all good to you. Please tell me the perpetrator of these mutilations which blackmail the reputation of sons of Pritha.
So the reputation of the sons of Pritha, the Pandavas, is at stake now. So how can, in the kingdom of Pandavas, how can a bull suffer? How can a cow suffer? So that's a big shame upon us. So we can't tolerate this. Please tell who causes some trouble to you. The bull and the cow are symbols of most offenseless living beings. Because even the stool and urine of these animals is very useful. Probably say. The descendants of sons of Pritha, like Maharaj Parikshit, were afraid of losing their reputation. But in the modern days, the leaders are not even afraid of killing such offenseless animals. The thought that if a cow or if a bull is tortured in our rule, it's a shame upon us. That thought also will not enter the modern rulers. But in those days, hey, one cow is getting tortured. Immediately the king of the state will become alarmed. It's a shame upon us. Our reputation is lost because of this thing, this mishap happening in our kingdom. But that, although that cow slaughter is rampant, the kings are indifferent to that cow slaughter. That is the symptom of Kali Yuga. So, Jane Nagasyagam Yunjan Sarvakosya Jamadbhayam Sadhunam Bhadrameva Syat Asadhudamane Krite.
Whoever causes offenseless living beings to suffer must fear me anywhere and everywhere in the world. By curbing dishonest miscreants, one automatically benefits the offenseless.
So, how to protect the offenseless creatures who are suffering? Generally, these offenseless creatures are suffering because of offensive creatures. If we control the offensive creatures like Kali and other robbers and thieves, etc., so they can be protected. So when the executive heads are strong enough to crush all sorts of dishonest miscreants in any part of the state, certainly they cannot flourish. If they don't flourish, the sufferings of these people can be mitigated, innocent people can be mitigated. The prime duty of a king is to give protection in all respects to the peaceful, offenseless citizens of the state. So whenever, for example, a house is on fire, whom to protect first? A small child in the house or a grown-up youngster in the house? Immediately, small child will deserve all kind of attention. If there are ladies, they deserve more attention, right? So, the protection of innocent beings becomes the primary responsibility of the king. Just like parent is more attentive to the needs of an infant baby than a grown-up child, similarly, the king of the state has to be more concerned about the weaker sections of the society than the strong people. Right? He should take care of the weaker sections like cows, bulls, children, old men, brahmanas, women. So these are the primary objects of attention, right, from the king. So devotees of the Lord are by nature peaceful and offenseless, and therefore it is the prime duty of the state to arrange to convert everyone to become pure devotees. So, Anagasviha bhuteshu Yasangas nirankushaham Ahastasmi bhujam sakshat Amartyasya visangatam. Now the cow and bull might question Parikshit Maharaj. You are saying I will punish anyone who troubles some innocent creatures. What if the person is stronger than you? Right? So you may punish a person who is troubling us if he is weaker than you. But if he is stronger than you, what you will do? Then Parikshit Maharaj is answering this. Read the 15th verse. Translation.
Start living the offenses by torturing those who are offenseless shall be directly uprooted by the even though the tradition of heaven with armor and shield.
Amartya, right? Even if he is a demigod with angadam, with decorations and armor, right? With a great kavacha, still I will not spare him. So, an able administrator or a king should be courageous enough to counteract the upstarts without even calculating also. Right? Oh, he is stronger than me, let me go and surrender. But if he is doing something adharma, he should go and protest. That is the Kshatriya spirit. Even if he is a demigod, I will not spare him. I will go and fight with him. This is the mood of Parikshit Maharaj. So therefore, in the higher planets, the lifespan is greater, that's why they are called Amartya. So the people in this world are called Martya. Martya means who is destined to death. But Amartya means who is not destined to death. That does not mean that they will not die. Whether he is in Brahmaloka also he will die. But in comparison to the people in earthly planets, the demigods live such a long life. Our 6 months is like their 1 day. In that calculation, they are called Amartya. But it's not that they are immortal beings. Right? They have a long life, but they don't die. So Prabhupada elaborates on that word Amartya. So the point here is, even if he is a demigod, Parikshit Maharaj is not willing to spare him. Right? 16th verse. Rajno hi paramo dharmah
Rajyo hi paramo dharmah
dharmasthānupalanam
Swadharmasthānupalanam
Shasatonyanyatha shastram
Shasatonyanyatha shastram
Anapadyat iha
Anapadyuttahaniha.
The supreme duty of the ruling king is to give all protection to law-abiding persons and to chastise those who stray from the ordinances of the scriptures in ordinary times when there is no emergency.
So this is the duty of a king. So Parikshit Maharaj is explaining the duty of a same king, supreme duty of a king. So there are some circumstances where one may have to compromise the regular course of following religious principles. That is called apad dharma. Otherwise, samanya dharma has to be followed. So scriptures mention apad dharma. Apad dharma means that duty one has to perform in extraordinary circumstances, not ordinary circumstances. So in some emergency, for example, simple. Every day somebody has to, someone who is in temple, they have to come to Mangala, a temple resident. But someone is so sick, he got malaria, so he cannot come to Mangala. Right? That is like emergency, something like that. So the regular course of activity may be compromised in some special circumstances. Otherwise, it should not be compromised. In cases of emergency, one will be allowed to live on flesh of animals. So there is no food at all to eat. So sometimes he may have to eat flesh. That's an emergency circumstance. But organized way of doing it is not recommended in Shastras. Now Dharma is responding. It's a brilliant response. So Parikshit Maharaj is repeatedly asking, who causes suffering to you, my dear Dharma? Please tell us, I will immediately punish you. Even if he is more powerful than me, I will punish you. So this is what Parikshit Maharaj told Dharma. Now what Dharma is saying is, Dharma uvacha etadvah pandaveyanam yuktam arta bhayam vachah yesham gunaganai krishno dautyado bhagavan kritah.
Personality of Godhead, personality of religion said, these words just spoken by you befit a person of the Pandava dynasty, captivated by the devotional qualities of the Pandavas. Even Lord Krishna, the personality of Godhead, performed duties as a messenger.
So Dharma is saying, my dear Parikshit, your words are befitting your dynasty. You are a descendant of Pandavas. You are wonderfully exhibiting your mood of protecting the innocent and punishing the miscreants. And because you are the grandson of Arjuna, your qualities are similar to Arjuna. So, just like Krishna is controlled by Arjuna's qualities, Krishna is controlled by your qualities also, because you are similar to Arjuna. So you are very nicely representing your dynasty. So we are very happy for it. So here, although Parikshit Maharaj's words appear to be boasting or indicating some pride in him, he is not actually proud. He is not falsely proud, for a devotee of the Lord is equally as powerful as the Lord, or sometimes more powerful than the Lord by Lord's grace. Sometimes what the Lord could not do, devotee can do. We have seen in the previous chapters. Krishna could not convince Yudhishthira, Bhishma could convince him. By the grace of Krishna only Bhishma could convince him. Still, Lord will make his devotee more glorious than him. So Parikshit Maharaj's apparent boasting is not actually boasting, it's a fact. He has the ability to punish Kali. Right? No doubt. So, though it may be ordinarily very difficult to fulfill, it is properly executed by the grace of Lord. When a devotee desires to do something, so Lord will assist him in doing that. So Lord wants to render service to his unalloyed devotee. whose life has no other engagement than to serve the Lord with full love and devotion. So here, Dautyado Bhagavan Kritaha, out of affection for the Pandavas, Krishna acted in the capacity of Dautya, like messenger, watchman, so many other capacities Krishna acted. Saratya Parishada Sevana Sakhya Dautya Veerasanama Gamanastavana Pranama Snigdheshu Pandushu Jagat Pranatim Cha Vishnod Bhaktim Karvati Nrupatischaranaravindi. Because all the Pandavas are malleable to the will of Krishna, Krishna is doing such menial services towards Pandavas as Saratya, Parishada, Sevaka, Sakhya, Dautya, etc. So a devotee is always under the protection of the Lord, and therefore the assurance of protection given by a devotee has to be taken as the assurance of protection given by the Lord. Because by the grace of the Lord, devotee gets the ability to protect other people also. So when Parikshit Maharaj is promising that I can protect you, please tell who is the person who causes suffering. So Bull is immediately appreciating, yes, you are able, you can protect us, right? You can punish Kali. We understand that we have that ability. You are not falsely boasting. This is not false pride in you. Your words are befitting your dynasty, right? Navayam klesha vijani yatah syu purushashabha purusham tam vijanimo vakya bheda vimohitah. Now the next 4-5 verses that Bull is going to speak are extremely profound, very deep. So when someone is troubled by another person, the in charge or head or king, whoever comes in front of him and says, who is the cause of your trouble? Tell us, I will punish him. And he might innocently say that he is the person who is troubling me. The king will go and punish him. That is so simple, like that. But good dharma doesn't say that Kali is the cause of my suffering. So there is an important lesson it's evident in the response of dharma. A very grave lesson. Prabhupada also brings out very wonderfully all the lessons. Now I am klesha bijani. I know that this person is giving me klesha, but I don't know the bija of that klesha. Right? So apparently this person is giving me suffering, but what is the seed of that suffering? What is the root cause of that suffering? Navayam. We don't understand. Yatahasya purusharshabha purusham tam vajanimo vakya bhedaihi vimohita. Now, when the Bull is saying that now Parikshit Maharaj already knows that Kali is troubling dharma. But he wants a confirmation from dharma before getting into punishment. So I want you to say that so and so person is troubling me. Now dharma is saying, now I am klesha bijani. So we don't know what is the seed of my suffering. Right? I have absolutely no idea why am I suffering. Now Parikshit Maharaj might tell the Bull that you know a lot of Shastra. Why can't you consult your Shastric intellect and then give me an answer? Now Dharma says, Purusham tam vijanemo vakya bhedaihi vimohita. Vakya bhedaihi, different philosophers are presenting different things, right? Vakya bhedaihi, there are different versions. Someone says he is the cause of your suffering, someone says this is the cause of your suffering, someone else will say something else is the cause of suffering. And we are all vimohita, we are all bewildered and confused by these different opinions of different philosophers. This is also a symptom of Kali Yuga. Earlier, to do such an activity, there is a proper path. Oh, if you do it this way, this is the right thing to do. But especially in Kali Yuga, because there are hundreds of opinions, everything seems to be correct, or everything seems to be not correct also. Right? Because different people have different opinions. So as time progresses, the options will increase only. The options which are actually sources of confusion will increase. Earlier there is only one phone model maybe, right? One or two models only to choose. Now there are hundreds of models, right? So as the time progresses, the models will increase and there will be more confusion in selecting one phone also, in selecting one dress also, in selecting mic stand also. Right? In selecting anything, there are hundreds of options, hundreds of philosophies. Different people will recommend different things, and that will only increase confusion perpetually. The quantity and quality of confusion will only increase in Kali Yuga. So, Bull's words are predicting that. Bull's words are prophesizing that. Right? The very fact that Dharma is unable to ascertain the cause of the perpetrator because of the opinions of different philosophers, that indicates that Kali Yuga is filled with confusion. You can read the translation.
Greatest among human beings, it is very difficult to ascertain the particular miscreant who has caused our suffering.
It is very difficult to ascertain the particular miscreant who has caused our sufferings. Parikshit Maharaj is saying, I am seeing the person right in front of me. Why are you saying it's difficult to ascertain?
Because we are bewildered by all the different opinions of theoretical philosophers.
We are bewildered by different opinions. Right? You may enter a shop and the shop wala will show you some model. Option is right in front of you, you can take it. And all the what is it called? Requirements that you may have may be fulfilled by whatever he is offering, but different opinions are there in the back of mind. So and so person said this is better, so and so person said that is better. So like there so many options are there already in the brain, there is bewilderment, one cannot make a decision immediately. Right? So, I mean, I am just giving a crude example, just now it is right in front of me. This has nothing to do with the actual thing. So basically here different theoretical philosophers will propose different kinds of opinions and we are bewildered by it. That is in terms of Kali Yuga. So Prabhupada says there are the six systems: Kanada, Patanjali, Jaimini, Gautama, Kapila, Vyasa. So different people will present different philosophies. According to Padma Purana, our present trouble is due to the fructifying of seedling sins. But even those seedling sins are gradually fade away by execution of pure devotional service. Thus, even if the devotees see mischief mongers, they do not accuse them for the sufferings inflicted. So Prabhupada reveals what's going to come after 2-3 verses, or maybe after 2-3 chapters, or maybe after 2-3 cantos also, sometimes. So now this conclusion Prabhupada is presenting here. Because people may not have the patience to read the next 4 pages. Prabhupada has to often repeat the. Therefore, take it for granted that the mischief monger is made to act by some indirect cause, and therefore they tolerate the sufferings, taking them to be God-given in small doses. For otherwise, the suffering should have been greater. So this is the attitude of a devotee. A devotee does not blame anyone else for his suffering. When a devotee is asked, my dear devotee, why are you suffering? Who is the cause of your suffering? He will not immediately say that he is the person who caused me suffering. He doesn't say that. He says that this suffering has been orchestrated by Krishna in my life. And I don't blame Krishna for my suffering, because I see this as a result of my past deeds, and Krishna out of his great mercy is giving me only a token amount of suffering, although I deserve more suffering. That is the attitude of a devotee. That is the disposition of a devotee. Tattenu kampam susamikshamanam vinjana eva atmakritam vipakam. And he does what? Hridva vapurbhir viladhan namaste. He would just offer obeisances to the Lord with his mind, body and words, and just gratefully accept the suffering. Right? Kechid vikalpavadhanam ahur atmanam daivam anye pare karma swabhavam apare prabhum.
Some of the philosophers who deny all sorts of duality declare that one's own self is responsible for his personal happiness and distress. Others say that superhuman powers are responsible. while yet others say that activity is responsible, and the gross materialists maintain that nature is the ultimate cause.
Kechit Vikalpa Vasana. Vikalpa Vasana means they deny, some philosophers deny all kinds of duality. Ahum Atmanam Atmanah. So some philosophers, especially here, Advaitavadis, some philosophers say that self is the cause of all suffering. Atmanam Atmanah. Atma is the cause of all suffering. And there are some other people, Daivam and Ye. Some other people say Daivam is the cause. Daivam means supernatural powers, demigods, that higher powers. They are the cause of suffering. Then Pare Karma and some other people, they say that karma is the cause of suffering. Mimamsakas, they say that karma is the cause of suffering. Advaitavadis, they say that Atma is the cause of suffering. And Daivagnas say that Daivam is the cause of suffering. And there are Lokayatas. They say that Swabhavam is the cause of suffering. Swabhavam means the innate nature. Right? So the nature is the cause of suffering. So there are four opinions presented here. Self is the cause of suffering, or karma is the cause of suffering, or Daivam, supernatural powers are the cause of suffering, or Swabhava, or innate nature is the cause of suffering. So four kinds of philosophers are saying that four kinds of sources cause misery. And so many opinions are there, we are bewildered. My dear Parikshit Maharaj, you are asking me a simple question, who is the cause of my suffering? But I am unable to ascertain who is the cause of my suffering. Because four opinions are there in this particular verse. Now fifth opinion he is presenting in the next verse. This is actually the ultimate opinion, which is the opinion of Vaishnavas. And Dharma will, by placing this fifth opinion at the end, is indirectly indicating to Parikshit Maharaj that take this as the answer. Although I don't want to tell what is the answer, I don't want to straightforwardly answer your question, but I am giving you a hint. Apratarkyat anirdeshyat iti kesha vinishchayah atrānurūpam rājarshe vimrisha svamanīshaya.
There are also some thinkers who believe that no one can ascertain the cause of distress by argumentation, nor know it by imagination, nor express it by words. O sage ones kings, judge for yourselves by thinking over all this with your own.
So four types of philosophers we presented in the previous verse, and they say that four reasons are there for suffering: karma, atma, swabhava, daiva. Now there is a fifth category of philosophers, other thinkers. They say that it is very difficult to ascertain. They don't even give one answer also. Apratarkya, tarka. With tarka you cannot ascertain the cause of your suffering. So by your power of reasoning, you cannot understand it. Then anirdeshyat, you cannot, your mind cannot fathom what is the cause of your suffering. So you cannot understand what is the source of your distress or happiness by argumentation or by imagination, or you can't even express it in your words. By tarka you cannot happen, it will not happen. Anirdeshyat, by your thinking power you cannot ascertain, and you cannot even express it through your words also. Right? Atra anurupam rajarshe. Then what is Dharma saying finally? Vimrisha svamanīshaya. My dear Parikshit Maharaj, svamanīshaya. With your own intelligence you figure out who is the cause of our suffering, and then do punishment or do whatever you want. So you ask us what is the cause of our suffering? I will not tell you. I gave you this multiple choice question. You pick up, right? Who is the person who is entitled to punishment? So we will not express. Actually, this verse, according to Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, is indicating Krishna. What did Bhishma say in one of our previous chapters? Na hiyasya karhichit rajan puman veda vidhitsitam yad vijignasaya yukta muhyanti kavayopihi. So, it is not very easy to conceive Krishna's plan. In their attempts to conceive Krishna's plan, even great kavis, great thinkers, learned scholars also get bewildered. Right? Yet Vijignasaya Yukta Muhyanti Kavayogi. Even Kavais are also Muhyanti. They are also bewildered. So Krishna's plans and Krishna's decisions and how he wants to orchestrate certain things, how he gives distress to whom, at what time, in what way, that is very difficult to ascertain. This is the attitude of devotees. Devotees will think that nothing will move, not a blade of grass will move without the sanction of Krishna. Dharma says, if I am suffering now, or for that matter anyone, if he is suffering, it is Krishna's will. Ultimately, it is Krishna's will. Krishna has sanctioned that suffering. If someone is happy, Krishna has sanctioned that happiness. So it is the Supreme Personality of Godhead who is orchestrating certain things in the lives of certain people. So that point he wanted to say indirectly. Why he is not directly saying that the providence is the cause of my suffering? Why can't he say that directly? So Krishna says that directly. In Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says Sukham Dukkham Bhavo Bhavo Bhayam Cha Abhayam Eva Cha Ahimsa Samata Tushtaha Tapodanam Isho Vishaham. Then Bhavanti Bhava Bhutanam Matta Eva Prathak Vida. So Krishna says all the Sukham, Dukkham, Bhaya, Abhaya, etc. are all coming from me. I am the cause, I am the source of all these things in the lives of everybody. Krishna is declaring, but Dharma is not saying that. Because it is not appropriate to point out Krishna to be the cause of my distress. Right? Krishna is the cause of my so-and-so experience in this. It's not very appropriate. Dharma thought like that. It's improper for the worshippers of Krishna to say that Krishna, you are the source of this distress. They will not say that. It is your will, you will experience it without pointing out you also. We accept your will. So that is why they are not pointing that out. And devotees also say it's inconceivable. We can't figure out why Krishna is doing what he is doing. So both Prabhupada and Chakravarti are quoting these verses and substantiating this point. The argument of the atheist that one cannot be punished for one's misdeeds unless proved before a qualified justice is refuted here. For we accept that the perpetual witness and constant companion of living being is Krishna. If someone has to get some reward or someone has to get some punishment, someone has to witness it, witness his actions and decide he deserves this treatment. He deserves that treatment. Who is the person who is constantly witnessing us? If someone is writing an exam, someone has to check the paper to declare whether he is pass or fail, or with the distinction of second class, first class, third class, whatever, honors, whatever it may be, someone has to check the paper. Who is checking our papers? Krishna is constantly checking our papers. Right? He is the bird sitting on the same tree of this body along with the soul and constantly witnessing the actions. And this bird, this Krishna, who is witness of all our activities, is a neutral witness. He is not a biased witness. He is totally unbiased. If the person who is checking the papers is biased, as soon as he sees some name on the paper, I have to give him 100 out of 100. He sees some other name, I have to cut down his marks. Right? He should not get more than 50 out of 100. It is a partial paper checker. If he is biased, if he is not neutral, if he is not giving marks as much as the person deserves, such a person is not qualified to be an examiner. Right? Similarly, if the person who is witnessing your actions is not neutral, if he is biased, then he also cannot give a proper judgment. But Krishna is that asakta vivikta sakshini. Asakta means detached. Vivikta, uncontaminated. Asakta vivikta sakshini means Krishna is unattached, pure witness of all our actions. Even Prachetas also glorify Krishna that Sarva Bhuta Nivasaya Namo Yukshma Hi Sakshini. Sarva Bhuta Nivasaya. Krishna stays in the hearts of every living entity and he acts as a sakshi, witness for all our activities. So whenever someone is receiving happiness or distress in his life, it is Krishna who has personally, very meticulously witnessed all his activities and properly registered them without any bias, and whatever is destined to him, whatever he deserves, that treatment he is giving. It is the Pakka system of Krishna which will never fail. So devotees have that faith on Krishna. Devotees never perceive injustice in their lives. I am mistreated. That is not the attitude of a devotee. That devotee is never in such a disposition that I am subjected to mistreatment. That he will not say. Krishna has personally orchestrated this incident or this experience in my life, and I deserve this, right? Because of my past deeds. Because the calculation of all the people in the entire creation may go wrong, but Krishna's calculations will never go wrong, right? So if one has that trust on Krishna, he will never blame Krishna or blame anyone else for his suffering, right? That's what Dharma Bull is also saying. Very deep points Prabhupada is conveying here. Krishna is the knower of all past, present and future, and nothing can be concealed from him. The devotees know this truth, and therefore they discharge their duties sincerely, without being overly anxious for rewards. If I deserve it, Krishna will give me. If Krishna has not given me, I don't deserve it. Simple. Why should I worry about the result? Why should I worry about the reward? I just have to, Krishna has kept me in this situation. In this situation, I have to do this duty. Let me do this duty. This is the disposition of a devotee. Besides that, one cannot estimate the Lord's reactions either by speculation or by scholarship. Now, another point. Whatever Krishna does is fine, we accept it. But devotee is not unnecessarily curious to know what is there in Krishna's mind also. Right? So out of curiosity, one may speculate. I think Krishna will do this thing. Krishna will do that. But whatever he does, I will take it. That is the point. That's what he wants to implement ultimately in his life. He will not unnecessarily speculate what is there in his mind. Apratarkyat. By argumentation, you cannot understand what is there in Krishna's mind. Anirdeshya. By your power of thinking, you cannot understand what is there in Krishna's mind. Apratarkyat anirdeshya. The power of one's argumentation, the power of one's thinking are way below Krishna's plans. Right? Our power of thinking and argumentation can never approach Krishna's inconceivable plan. Nahiyasya karhichitrajan puman vedaviditsikam. Right? His plans are beyond our power to imagine, beyond our power to think or fathom, beyond our intellect, like that. Beyond our verbal capacity. Now, what is one hint Acharyas give, both Acharya, Chakravarti and Prabhupada, that in this current context, what is Krishna's plan? People have 100 plans, we don't know. But one intention of Krishna is revealed in this context. That is, by orchestrating this incident of Kali chastising bull and cow, Krishna wanted to glorify Parikshit Maharaj. Right? Krishna was very eager to see Parikshit Maharaj glorified for the rest of eternity. Whatever. He says, the Acharyas give this explanation. When cow and bull are being tormented, Parikshit Maharaj came there, had a discussion with them, and figured out that Kali is the problem, and he immediately raised his sword to kill Kali. So Parikshit Maharaj is such an able administrator. He can challenge even Kali. Right? He can punish even Kali. So to prove that, Krishna orchestrated this incident. And also, Parikshit Maharaj did not kill Kali. Why? Because Kali surrendered to Krishna, surrendered to Parikshit Maharaj. So Parikshit Maharaj is such a cultured king that when an enemy also, if he surrenders to him, he will never harm him. Right? So to glorify Parikshit Maharaj in these lines, Krishna has orchestrated this incident. So that one point he says. Planned to prove that Parikshit Maharaj was an ideal executive head. Now 21st verse. Even Avanti Brahmana also says, right? Nayam janome sukadukka heto na devatatma graha kala karma. So, we have something to share. So, Avanti Brahman says, Nayam janome sukadukka heto. Sukha dukha. There is happiness and distress in my life. But who is the cause of it? Nayam janome. These jana, these people are not the cause. And he also says, Na devata atma. The devatas are not cause. Atma, my own body is not the cause. Graha kala karma. All the planet movements are not the cause. The grahas are not rotating properly in my life. That's why there is inauspiciousness. Graha are also not the cause. Kala, time is not the cause. Karma, activities are not the cause. Manaha param karanamanamanti. Samsara chakram parivartayeti. So mind is the ultimate cause. So he says, Avanti Brahman says like that. So basically, ultimately Krishna is the cause. Right? That is understanding of a devotee. So a devotee will either say that Krishna has orchestrated this, or he says that this is a result of my own deeds. Right? I deserve this treatment. That's why it is happening. But devotee never gets into shifting the blame or pointing out someone else for his own suffering. He will eliminate all the people and all the other causes and then come down to a point where he may blame himself or he will accept Krishna's will. That one of these may happen to a mature person. Right? Ultimately, he will understand that Krishna's plan is happening. But he will never blame others, as Dharma is very nicely exemplifying here. Now Sutta Goswami is continuing. Sutta Uvacha. Evam dharme pravadati. Sasamrat dvijasattama. Samahitena manasa. Vihedaha paryatashtatam.
Sutta Goswami said, so that's among the Brahmanas. The Emperor Parikshit, thus leaving the personality of religion speak, was fully satisfied and without mistake or regret, he gave his reply.
Unless one is perfectly conversant with the law of the Supreme Lord, one cannot give this kind of response. Especially one is overwhelmed with some distress or suffering, the immediate emotion that might come out of him is shifting the blame. He is the cause of my suffering. He would immediately tend to say that. But in spite of losing his 3 legs, and he was barely standing on 1 leg, in spite of experiencing such tremendous amount of distress also, this personality never pointed out that he is the cause of my suffering. He, in that context also, he is very perfectly analyzing the principles of religion. So he must be the personality of religion. So this is the conclusion of Parikshit Maharaj. How can someone be so philosophically inclined in the midst of suffering? When we are peacefully sitting, Shastric study is very nice, and then we can philosophically analyze things. But in a very trying circumstance, when we are facing a reversal, at that time trying to utilize that philosophy is really great. Right? So philosophical understanding in ordinary circumstances is okay, but applying that philosophical understanding in a situation where we are facing reversals, that needs a lot of maturity and depth. Right? Someone should have the substance to apply that philosophy. Right? So Dharma is able to do that. So Parikshit Maharaj is very impressed with Dharma. He could immediately understand that you must be Dharma. Dharma praveshi dharmajna. Dharmo sivrisha rupadrit. Viradharma kritasthanam. Suchakashyapi tadbrahme.
The king said, O you, who are in the form of a bull, you know the truth of religion, and you are speaking according to principles, that the destination intended for the proprietor of religious act is also intended for one who identifies with the proprietor. You are no other than the personality of religion.
There is someone who has committed a sin, and there is another person who points out that he is the sinner. So both received similar result. So Dharma did not point out the mistake of Kali, because Dharma says, if I point out his mistake, I will also be entangled. So see what he says, the destination intended by the perpetrator is also intended for one who identifies the perpetrator. Okay. So a devotee's conclusion is that no one is directly responsible for being the benefactor or mischief monger without the sanction of the Lord. So devotee focuses on the root cause. That's what he said right in the beginning. Karma, klesha bijani. Devotee is not overwhelmed by the klesha, but he has the guts to understand the klesha bija. The seed of this klesha, the root cause of this klesha is Krishna. But he does not blame Krishna also. When you say klesha bija, the seed of suffering is Krishna, he doesn't say like that. Krishna has mercifully arranged this situation in my life. When you say Krishna is the cause of my suffering, you are blaming Krishna. But when you are seeing mercy in that misery and saying that Krishna has mercifully arranged this situation in my life, then you are not blaming Krishna, you are being grateful to Krishna. Right? Seeing Krishna's hand in every circumstance of life, whether it is happiness or distress, that is the disposition of the devotee. Right? So a devotee's conclusion is that no one is directly responsible for my happiness or distress. When someone is saying he is the culprit, that means he is identifying him as a perpetrator. No, not he. He is just an instrument in Krishna's hands. Krishna somehow, we happen to be here, Krishna somehow uses him to deliver me whatever I deserve. Right? Somehow it is coming through him. So he does not unnecessarily point out. Otherwise, he will suffer for his mistake, and for pointing out, this person also will suffer. Right? So in both cases, he takes it for granted that either benefit or loss is God sent, and thus it is His grace. In case of benefit, no one will acknowledge God, but when there is some problem, they will say Krishna has caused this problem, God has caused this problem, God is not merciful. Right? So people will say that God is unkind, etc. etc. But by God's grace, devotee tolerates all reverses. So when a reverse comes in one's life, what the devotee needs to handle that reverse, he should be equipped with tolerance. The power of tolerance will make him handle that misery. So that person will be bestowed with that ability to tolerate that reversal, provided he sees Krishna's hand in it. But if his immediate response to that reversal is to blame someone, he is not bestowed with the power of tolerance. Right? So the cow and bull never placed any complaint before the king for being tortured by the personality of Kali. Although everyone lodges complaints before the state of violence. No complaint. The extraordinary behavior of the bull made the king conclude that the bull was certainly the personality of religion. For no one else could understand the finer intricacies of the codes of religion. Finer intricacies. So no shifting the blame. It is a very grave lesson and deep lesson that these Bhaktivedanta purports are teaching us. अथादेव मायाया नूनं गतिरगोचर चेतसो वचसश्चापि भूतानाम् इति निश्चयः.
Thus it is concluded that the Lord's energy are inconceivable. No one can estimate them by mental speculation or by whatsoever.
So same conclusion is mentioned. Whatever is there in the 20th verse, Vaishnava's conclusion, same thing is mentioned here. So no one can understand how Lord's energies are functioning. It's inconceivable by mental speculation or word gesture. Deva Mayaya, Nunam Gatira Gochara, Chetaso Vachasascha, by Chetana or Vacha. Purport, every line is important. Beautiful purport. The question may be raised as to why a devotee should refrain from identifying an actor although he knows definitely that Lord is the ultimate doer of everything. And the question is, yeah, devotee's understanding is that Krishna is the ultimate doer. But what's wrong if someone points out the instrument? So knowing the ultimate doer, one should not pose himself as ignorant of the actual performer. So to answer this doubt, the reply is given. Even the Lord is also not directly responsible. What to speak of this instrument? Who is responsible? So everything is done by his deputed Maya Shakti. Lord's energies are responsible. The material energy is always provoking doubts upon the supreme authority of the Lord. Right? So, how the Lord's energies function is that they don't allow the person to think that Krishna is the ultimate doer. Lord's energies, Lord's Maya, will provoke this person to think that someone else is the doer. Right? Now, see, the personality of religion knew perfectly well that nothing can take place without the sanction of the Lord, and still he was put into doubts by deluding energy, and thus he refrained from mentioning the supreme cause. Even Krishna's name also Dharma did not directly mention. This doubtfulness was due to the contamination of both Kali and material energy. Kali Yuga, the time, and material energy, Lord's potency. So both are influencing a person to divert his understanding of the supreme cause. They will identify so many other people as cause, but they cannot point out that Krishna is the ultimate doer. And even if they point out, they cannot express it. It's all because of material energy and Kali Yuga forces. The whole atmosphere of age of Kali is magnified by deluding energy, and the proportion of measurement is inexplicable. Right? Inexplicable. So now he is continuing, Parikshit Maharaj. Tapashaucham daya satyam iti padah krite krita adharmam chaistrayo bhagna smaya sangamadaistava.
The age of Satya, truthfulness. Your four legs were established by four principles of austerity, cleanliness, mercy, and truthfulness. But it appears that three of your legs are broken due to rampant religion, the form of pride, lust for women, and intoxication.
So in the Satya Yuga, tapas saucham daya satyam. Tapa is austerity, saucham is cleanliness, daya mercy, then satyam is truthfulness. So Dharma was standing on these four legs. But because of smaya, pride, sangha, association with opposite sex, right, to fulfill one's lusty desires, then madaha means intoxication. Because of these three things, three legs are destroyed. So this pride destroys tapa, austerity. Then sangha, association of opposite sex, will destroy saucham, any cleanliness, right, and purity. Then madaha, intoxication, will destroy this daya, mercy. So satyam, what is that? Falsity, untruth will destroy satyam. So these are the four principles of irreligion that destroy the principles of religion. So as the ages progress from Satya Yuga to Dwapara, Kali, etc., till Kali, so these dharmic principles are not followed, right? One by one they will just go away. So man cannot check all these evils simply by statutory acts and political vigilance, but he can cure the disease of the mind by proper medicine. So Prabhupada says, when these things, pride, lust and intoxication and lying propensity, all these are increasing, you cannot curb them by police vigilance or enforcing so many laws. So there should be a positive way of cultivating their counterparts so that these things can be curtailed. So how to counteract this pride or lust or intoxication? Make sure that people in this world are trained in tapaha saucham daya satyam. When the training is given in tapas saucham daya satyam, then smaya sangha mada will not affect you. But to counteract smaya sangha and mada, So many other countermeasures are being taken. Instead of taking that, instead of increasing police vigilance, increasing money protocols and check systems and this and that, better try to educate people in the importance of following Satyam, Daya, Saucham, Tapa, etc. And that is the recommendation Prabhupada gives. If the leaders and rich men of the society spend 50% of their accumulated wealth mercifully for the misled masses of people to educate them in God consciousness, the knowledge of Bhagavatam, certainly the age of Kali will be defeated in its attempt to entrap the conditioned souls. Idanim dharma bhavaste satyam nirvartayed yatah tam jigrikshya dharmoyam anritena kalihi.
As we are now standing on one leg only, which is your truthfulness, and you are somehow or other hobbling along. But coral personified Kali, flourishing back deceit, is also trying to destroy that leg.
So, dharma is barely standing on one leg, and towards the end of Kali, that is also gone. So, Prabhupada in this purport is addressing this austerity. What is austerity? Austerity means voluntarily accepting some inconvenience, which is not very comfortable for the body, but it is very conducive for spiritual realization. For a higher purpose, you voluntarily accept some inconvenience. That is austerity. For example, fasting. Prabhupada says. Then similarly, cleanliness. Cleanliness is also internal and external, both physical cleanliness and also cleanliness of mind. And the cleanliness of mind is achieved by glorifying the Supreme Lord. So, like that, Prabhupada explains some of these qualities in this purport. And in the 12th canto also this comes. These 4 legs of Dharma, how they are being destroyed. Next, 26th verse. Someone read the translation. 26.
The burden of the earth was certainly diminished by the austerity of God and by others as well. When he was present as an incarnation, all was performed because of his auspicious.
So Mother Earth is very flourishing when Krishna was there. This we have discussed in the previous chapter. Now, Shocha Chashukara Sadhri Durbhagya Vojita Sati Abhramanya Nripa Vyajah Sutra Bhokshanti Mam. Read the translation.
Now she, the chaste one, being unfortunately forsaken by the first personality of God, laments of future with tears in her eyes. For now she is being ruled and enjoyed by the lower class men, who told her rulers.
Parikshit Maharaj is empathizing with the sufferings of Mother Earth. So illegal and low class rulers, they pose themselves as great administrators and torture Mother Earth. Such rulers illegally gratify themselves at the cost of all comforts of the citizens, and thus the chaste Mother Earth cries to see the pitiable condition of her sons, both men and animals. Both men and animals are the children of Mother Earth. So when they are not treated properly by the administrators, she cries piteously. Now, Prabhupada is ending the purport with glorifying Bhagavatam. And in the absence of a suitable king to curb irreligious tendencies, educating the people systematically in teaching of Srimad Bhagavatam will clear up the hazy atmosphere of corruption, bribery, blackmail, etc. So people need to be educated in the principles of scriptures, especially Srimad Bhagavatam. Then the lost legs of dharma could be re-established. So by spreading the teachings of Srimad Bhagavatam, one is trying to fight the activities of Kali and trying to re-establish dharma on 4 legs. Right? Iti dharma mahim chaivan santayitva maharatah nishadam agade khadgam kalaye dharma hetave.
Maharaj Parikshit, who could fight 1,000 enemies single-handedly. Thus, pacify the personality of religion and the art. Then he took up his sharp sword to kill the personality of Kali, who is the cause of religion.
So Parikshit is Maharatha. Maharatha means single-handedly he can fight 1,000 people. Right? So he took up the sword to kill this Kali. So in the rainy season, certainly there will be rain. Right? But will you not take any precautions to protect yourself from the rain? Someone may take umbrella, someone may take raincoat, someone may just kind of postpone his engagement so that he can avoid this rain. So some of these things one may do. Precautions. Protecting oneself from the monsoon. Similarly, Kali Yuga is anyways spreading. Kali Yuga will come. Just like seasons change within a year. Similarly, yugas have to change within a Divya Yuga, within a Chatur Yuga. So that does not mean that we will not take any measures to counteract Kali. So that's what Parikshit Maharaj is doing. So Parikshit Maharaj is taking some measures to counteract Kali. So the diminished states cannot prevent corrupt activities by allowing wine shops. Prabhupada says that one has to take certain steps to eliminate the activities of Kali. Right? Next purports also explain that. We will discuss more there. Next 29, someone read.
And the personality of Kali understood that the king was willing to face him. He at once abandoned the dress of a king, and under pressure of fear completely surrendered to him, bowing his head.
As soon as Parikshit took out his sword to punish Kali or to kill Kali, Kali immediately removed his dress, the king dress, and then surrendered to the feet of Parikshit Maharaj. So a Kshatriya will never surrender to an enemy. Kshatriya will have to either fight and kill the enemy or be killed by the enemy. That's the Kshatriya spirit. But because he is not a Kshatriya, the Sudra is not a Kshatriya, he immediately removed his kingly dress and fell at the feet of Parikshit. And he has no valor to fight with Parikshit. The real Kshatriya never surrenders. That shows that he is not a Kshatriya. So in the Kali Yuga, people who are not Kshatriyas take up the roles of Kshatriyas. And when an opposing enemy comes in front of them, then they give up their Kshatriya attire and then surrender to him. Right? Then their Sudra mentality will manifest more vividly. Read the next verse. Patikam parayor viraha kripaya dinavatsala sharanyo na avadhat navadhi sokya aha chedam hasan iva. So Parikshit, who was qualified to accept surrender and worthy of being sung in history, did not kill the poor, surrendered and fallen Kali, but smiled compassionately, for he was kind to the poor. So Parikshit Maharaj, how can he kill? Although he raised his sword, someone who fell at his feet is worth giving shelter. So Parikshit Maharaj could not kill Kali. So even an ordinary Kshatriya does not kill a surrendered person. What to speak of Parikshit Maharaj? How can he kill a surrendered person? And Parikshit Maharaj was also smiling. Right? Why is he smiling? Because this artificially dressed Kali has ironically surrendered by giving up his Kshatriya dress. Right? So that causes some kind of smile upon the face of Parikshit. And thus the personality of Kali was saved by the will of Providence. Saved by the will of Providence. Here also Krishna's will is coming. So Parikshit Maharaj wanted to kill Kali, but by Krishna's will, Parikshit Maharaj could not kill Kali. How? Because Kali surrendered. And surrendered person cannot be killed. So based on that logic, Kali's life was spared even against the will of Parikshit Maharaj. So it was not Parikshit Maharaj's intent to forgive Kali or to spare the life of Kali. But because he has surrendered, Parikshit Maharaj was obliged to spare the life of Kali. At the same time, Parikshit Maharaj was expert enough to make Kali practically residenceless. He could not kill him with his sword, but he could kill him by his actions and made him practically residenceless. That's what is going to come later. Rajovacha Nate Gudagesha Yashodharanam Baddhanjale Vai Bhayamasti Kinchit Navartitavyam Bhavata Kathanjana Kshetre Madhiye Tamadharma Bandhu.
The king thus said, "You have inherited the fame of Arjuna. Therefore, since you have surrendered yourself with folded hands, you need not fear for your life. But you cannot remain in the kingdom, for you are the friend of the religion."
Nate Gudhakesha Yashodharana. So we have inherited the fame of Gudhakesha. Who is Gudhakesha? Arjuna. So Arjuna is our forefather. So because you have surrendered to a person like Arjuna, a descendant of Arjuna, so you need not fear for your life. Don't tremble in fear. Because you have surrendered to me, I will never kill you. Be rest assured. But you cannot stay in my kingdom. I will spare your life, but I cannot give you a residence. Right? Why? Because Adharma Bandhu, you are a friend of Adharma, irreligion, so you cannot stay in my kingdom. So Parikshit could not allow the friend of irreligiosity to flourish in his kingdom, because that will cause some damage to the reputation of Arjuna, his forefathers. Tvam vartamanam naradeva dehesu anupravritto yamadharma puga lobhanrutam chauryamanaryamamho jeshta chamaya kalahascha dambha.
The personage of religion is allowed to act as a man god or an executive head. Certainly, the religious principles like greed, falsehood, robbery, incivility, treachery, cheating, quarrel, and vanity will abound.
If you are allowed to flourish in my kingdom, all these unwanted things, robbery, falsehood, greed, etc., will spread in my kingdom. I will not allow you, he says. So, now the Bhagavatam religion adjusts following the principles of religion. Prabhupada makes a brilliant point. These principles of religion, like austerity, cleanliness, satyam, daya, shaucham, tapaha, so all these may be followed in any faith. These are not Hindu principles, these are not Muslim principles, these are not Christian principles. Any person can imbibe these values, dharmic principles, tapas, shaucham, daya, satyam. So Bhagavatam religion adjusts following the principles of religion, and the principles of religion are not the dogmas or regulative principles of a certain faith. They are universal. 33. Navartitavyam tadadharma bandho dharmena satyena cha vartitavye brahmavate yatra yajanti yagne yagneshwaram yagnavitana vidya.
Therefore, O friend of religion, you do not deserve to remain in a place where experts perform sacrifices according to truth and religious principles for the satisfaction of pain of spiritual body.
So this place is meant for religious people, and you are adharma bandhu. You cannot stay here. Na vartitavyam tad adharma bandhu. You are adharma bandhu, na vartitavyam. You cannot remain here. You cannot stay here. Get out of my place. I am not killing you because you have surrendered, but I cannot give you any residency. So, next verse. Yasmin Hare Bhagavan Ijjavana Ijjatmamurtir Yajatam Santanoti Kaman Namoghan Sirajangamana Antarbahirva Yurivaisha Atma. The previous purport, Prabhupada slightly touches upon Sankirtan Yajna. You can study. 34 we read.
In all sacrificial ceremonies, although sometimes everybody worships, The Supreme Lord, personality of Godhead is worshipped because He is the super soul of everyone and exists both inside and outside by the air. Thus, it is He only who awards all the praise to our soul.
So in the previous verse, Parikshit Maharaj said, this is a place meant for sacrifice. So my kingdom is meant for people who are followers of religion, who worship the Supreme Lord through sacrifice. So you cannot stay here. Here he is continuing on the same point. In all such sacrificial ceremonies, Supreme Lord is worshipped. He is the super soul of everyone. So he is the one who awards all the benedictions, results of all sacrifices. So the purpose of conducting a sacrifice is to glorify the Supreme Lord, is to please the Supreme Lord. Ignathat karmanonyatra lokoyam karma bandhana. So there is one example in the 5th canto. Bharat Maharaj. Bharat Maharaj was performing so many sacrifices. Although these sacrifices are meant for those who are karmakandic, still Bharat Maharaj was performing these sacrifices because he is a pure devotee. He need not conduct these karmakandic sacrifices, but still he is doing it. So what is the difference between Bharat Maharaj performing these sacrifices and a karmakandic fellow doing this? The difference is, when Bharat Maharaj was offering oblations in the sacrifice, he is offering oblations to various beings of the Lord. Indraya Swaha, Chandraya Swaha, Varunaya Swaha, Mitraya Swaha. So when all these mantras are being chanted, so Bharat Maharaj was meditating on so and so being of Lord Vasudeva. So because of the consciousness of Bharat Maharaj, although so many demigods are being worshipped in that sacrifice is ultimately going to Vishnu. Ultimately, every sacrifice is meant for the pleasure of Vishnu only, but most people forget that fact. But when a devotee conducts a sacrifice, he does it as an offering to Vishnu. He considers every small element, every feature of sacrifice as an offering to Vishnu. That consciousness makes that a devotional activity, not a karmakandic activity. So, Prabhupada is writing about demigods, worship in the sacrifices and all in this purport. You can study. Now, Sutta Goswami is continuing. The personality of Kali, thus being ordered by Maharaj Parikshit, began to tremble in fear. Seeing the king before him like Yamaraj, ready to kill him, Kali spoke to the king as follows. So, Prabhupada is saying here that a king or executive head should actually cause terror in the hearts of miscreants. As soon as they see the king, they should tremble in fear. That should be the power of a king, executive head. Now Kali is saying, Yatra kva vata vaksyami sarva bahuna sarva bhauma tvayagneya lakshate tatra tatrapi tam arteshu sarasanam. So, O your majesty, though I may live anywhere and everywhere under your order, I shall but see you with bow and arrows wherever I live. Man, personality of Kali, and you are saying you cannot live in my kingdom, so get out. Where is that place which is not your kingdom? Where should I go? First question. Next. Therefore, O chief amongst the protectors of religion, please fix some place for me where I can live permanently under your government. How can I escape your government? You are saying you cannot live in my kingdom. Wherever I go, I can see your government only. So please give me some place within your government only. That is his request. Prabhupada is writing here that the personality of Kali addressed Maharaj Parikshit as the chief amongst the protectors of religion. Tanme dharma vratam sreshta. Dharma vratam means one who protects religion. Dharma vratam sreshta. You are the best of all protectors of religion. Who is saying this? Kali is saying to Parikshit Maharaj. So because he is a best of protector of religion, he can never kill or punish or even deny the appeal of a surrendered soul. Kali has become a surrendered soul now. So when a surrendered soul requests something, this personality is obliged to give him that, fulfill that request. You should not kill him in the first place. Second, you should also accommodate him somehow. He is requesting, I am surrendered unto you, please give me some residence. How can Parikshit Maharaj deny it? A surrendered soul should be given all protection. Even though he is an enemy, he should be given protection. So that is the principle of religion. And Prabhupada, you see where Prabhupada takes this point. And we can just imagine what sort of protection given by the personality of God to a person who surrenders unto Him, not as an enemy, but a devoted servant. Even a devotee, forget a devotee, even a religious person will give all protection to a surrendered soul if, even though he is an enemy, right? So that is about the follower of a dharma. Especially if he is a devotee also, then he will give all protection to the surrendered soul, even if he is an enemy. So what if someone surrenders to the Supreme Lord, how much protection he will give? The people who are devoted to the Lord are giving protection. The people who are following the dharmic principles enunciated by the Lord are giving protection even to enemies. Why not Lord protect an enemy? And forget, if he is not enemy and if he is a devoted servitor of the Lord, how much more protection he will deserve from the Lord. So we can only be rest assured of the protection of Krishna. A devotee should never have doubts that, oh, whether Krishna will protect me or not, whether he is there or not. So now, just by doing some interpolation, extrapolation only we can understand to the extent of Krishna's mercy upon a surrendered soul, upon a servitor. If enemy deserves so much protection, why not the surrendered soul deserve it? So Prabhupada quotes 18.66. Sarvadharman parityajya mam ekam sharanam vraja aham tvam sarvapapebhyo mokshayishyami ma shucha. So Prabhupada makes that. Devotee is also saying that. Why not the Lord? Devotee is saying that to an enemy. Why can't the Lord say that to a devotee? This is Prabhupada's point. Now Sutta Goswami is continuing. It's 3:55 now. I may take 5 more minutes and complete the chapter. So that next class we can begin a fresh chapter. Very few verses are pending. Sutta uvacha abhyartitastada tasmai sthanani kalaye dadau dyutam panam striyah suna yatra dharmascha chaturvidah. Parikshit Maharaj said, okay, you wanted a residence from me, I will give you residence. What are the residences? So Parikshit Maharaj is trying to avoid Kali by all means. First he wanted to kill him. Then Kali surrendered. Then he said, you can't stay in my kingdom, get out. Then Kali said, give me some place of residence. Again, third attempt, Parikshit Maharaj is doing. He says, you can stay wherever Dyutam, Panam, Striya, Suna. Dyutam is gambling. Panam is drinking liquor, etc. Striya means illicit sex. Then Suna means killing animals mercilessly. Wherever the 4 regulative principles are not being followed, you can stay there. Again, third attempt to avoid Kali. So, Prabhupada elaborates on all these points. And Prabhupada gives 3 points about austerity. First point, 2 compulsory fasting days should be there in a month, Ekadasi fasting. Second point, there must be compulsory marriage for young boys and young girls. That's how we can avoid illicit sex. Then the citizens of state must give in charity up to 50% of their income, so that the 5 potent forms of devotional service may be followed nicely. Prabhupada gives some suggestions for the modern world. Now next, now personality of Kali, he asked us something more. You are trying to avoid me completely. First you said you will kill me. Second you said you can't stay in my kingdom. Third you said stay in these places. These places are not existent in your kingdom only. Where will I stay? You just made a show that you have given me 4 places of residence. You have not given me any place only. Where will I stay? In your kingdom I can't find all these kinds of things. Who will break 4 regulative principles in your kingdom? So I am residenceless. Please give me something more. Give me a 5th residence. So personality of Kali asked for something more, and because of his begging, the king gave him permission to live where there is gold. Because wherever there is gold, there is falsity, intoxication, lust, envy, envy. So gold is another place. Wealth. Gold also indicates silver and other precious things. Wealth basically. So because it was difficult for Kali to find all the places that Parikshit Maharaj said in the previous verse, he wanted another place. Now 48th verse. Thus the personality of Kali, by the directions of Maharaj Parikshit, the son of Uttara, was allowed to live in those 5 places. So gold at least is there. But Parikshit Maharaj is expert to eliminate Kali even where there is gold also. That will come in the next verses. Therefore, whoever desires progressive well-being, especially kings, religionists, public leaders, brahmanas and sannyasis, should never come in contact with the 4 above-mentioned irreligious principles. Ahaidarana seveta bhutsuhu purushah kvachit. Visheshato dharmashilo raja lokapatir guru. Raja lokapatir guru. Guru is a spiritual master. Then Raja is a king. Lokapati is any public leader. And Dharmashilo, whoever is in the path of progressive path of dharma or liberation. So such people should avoid these 4 principles. What are the 4? They are mentioned in the 38th verse. Divotam, Panam, Striya, Suna. Right? So Brahmana, Sannyasi, Kshatriya and a public leader. These are all considered 4 types of leaders in the society. So they should stay away from these 4 principles of religion. Thus their followers also will stay away from the principles of religion. Thus the world will remain sane. Now, thereafter the king re-established the lost legs of personality of religion. And by encouraging activities, he sufficiently improved the condition of earth. So by giving these 5 places as residence to Kali, Parikshit Maharaj expertly administered his kingdom and made sure that none of his citizens are doing this Jyotam Panam Striya Shuna, and also he made all the wealth, gold, being utilized for devotional activities. In the second paragraph of this purport, Prabhupada is writing, Parikshit, like his grandfather Arjuna, collected all the illicit gold kept for the propensities of Kali and employed it in the Sankirtan Yajna as per the instruction of Srimad Bhagavatam. When gold or wealth is utilized for Krishna conscious activities, that is not a source of entanglement. That is not a place of residence for Kali. But when that same gold or wealth is utilized for sense gratificatory activities, then that is place for Kali. So by engaging the wealth in his kingdom in devotional activities, dharmic activities, Kali made Parikshit Maharaj made Kali practically residenceless. This is the expertise of Parikshit Maharaj. The most fortunate Emperor Parikshit, who was entrusted with the kingdom of Hastinapur by Maharaj Yudhishthir, when he desired to retire to the forest, is now ruling the world with great success due to his being glorified by the deeds of kings of prudence. Now Sutta Goswami is telling Naimisharanya sages, such Parikshit Maharaj is now ruling the world. But actually this discussion between Sutta Goswami and Naimisharanya sages happened little before, a little after Parikshit Maharaj's departure. But as per the grammatical rules or whatever, something which is close to the past can also be presented as present tense. The present tense in this verse is indicating not exactly the present tense, but the close past tense. Very recently he passed away. So Sutta Goswami is presenting as if Parikshit Maharaj is also ruling now. Now also he is ruling. Okay. Next, last verse. Parikshit, the son of Abhimanyu, is so experienced that by dint of his expert administration and patronage, it has been possible for you to perform a sacrifice such as this. So because of Parikshit Maharaj's rule, O sages of Naimisharanya, you also were able to manage to do this sacrifice. Right? So like that, Sutta Goswami glorified Parikshit Maharaj and his activities of chastising Kali, making him practically residenceless. Now the next 2 chapters discuss the retirement of Parikshit Maharaj and the events leading to his retirement and his meeting of Vasudeva Goswami. Right? So in the next 2 weeks, we will complete 18th and 19th chapters. We will complete the first canto. And after that, if devotees speak, we can have an overview, which we regularly do in Vidyapitha. We can have a complete overview of first canto in one session, to end of our session. Thank you very much for your patient listening. Thank you very much. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.